morning. Hello. Still working on getting myself situated this morning. Okay, that's going. So I don't have to listen to it anymore. Sound and Fury. What am I doing? Hi. So yes, as you can see from the thing, information in the description, I'm also a little bit late this morning, and I apologize for that. As you can hear from my voice, I'm still a little bit, I don't know what's happening. I need this device. My mouse over here. Yes. And these. One of these days I'm gonna actually do like real media painting for the live stream. But that's not today. That will be for another time. Say hi if you're here. I can see somebody watching, which is always a good thing. It's nice to have a person to be rambling at. Okay. So yeah, as you can see from the description, I'm going to be painting a the State Dinosaur of California, whose name I have forgotten. So we went to some friends and I went to the Natural History Museum yesterday. The Dapper Day people, the people who do Dapper Day at Disneyland, put on an event at the museum, and it was super fun. Everyone was really cute in their fancies, and we went to, and I also haven't been to the Natural History Museum here in LA in probably 30 years. I think I was like in first grade the last time I was there, and so it was a delight. I had such a good time. So now I have to, but now I learned that California has a state dinosaur, and I have forgotten its name. It's kind of a strange name. Augustinolepis. It's kind of, it's sort of like a duckbill dinosaur looking guy. He's got like a knobby on his head. And a lot of the artists' renditions have him orange. And I think he's a cutie pie, so we're gonna paint him today. So I need to get my mouse over on this screen. Do that. Get set up here. I've got some references, but I need to make my references smaller so that I can see the chat in case anybody chats. There you are. Step that down a little bit. And there he is. Augustinolepis. Augustinolepis. Yes. Augustinolepis. I don't know anything about Augustinolepis. That will be for later. Do. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear it, because I haven't been live streaming enough for you guys to know what my regular voice sounds like. But as I'm talking, I can definitely hear that I'm still not 100%. So I've got my coffee. Okay. Alright, enough dilly-dallying. Let's draw a thing. Okay. What have I got on here? That's the pen. Let's go to the sketch box and get the animator pencil. That looks good. kind of a long boy. So maybe we want to do that. Maybe we want this a little smaller. I learned my lesson last week, and I will try really hard not to like cough into the microphone. Yeah, okay, so it's this. This is what we're drawing today. Let's see. These references are all sort of the same artist's rendition. They are. I have like two. Oh, that one they flipped. That's cute. Okay. Alright. So, what do we want him to do? I just did a let's get to know him first. I don't know if yeah, we'll just do this. What's a really California thing to do? Said the person who's lived here her whole life. So yeah, so we went to the Natural History Museum yesterday for Dapper Day, which was super fun. I had a really good time. I dressed up. I don't have like 1940s attire, but I have a cute A-line skirt that I liked, so I wore that. And my friends all like, I went with one of my like old-time childhood friends. Well, I've known their family forever, and her mom, who is also my friend because again I've known them forever, her mom made dresses for the girls and vests and bow ties for the boys, and everybody was just dapper as heck, and they all matched. And she used this like special dinosaur fabric. It's sort of a map of like North American dig sites and dinosaur bones and that sort of thing. So like everybody was coordinated. So my friend's family, like all the kids were in matching fabric, and then her mom and dad were in dinosaur bone print fabric. So they all were coordinated, and the like sort of family like nuclear family units sort of matched, and it was so cute. And then there was one of their other friends from school was there, and her and his parents, so there was just a ton of us. I think there were like, okay, there were 5 kids, 2, 4, 6, 7, so there were 12 of us, and we were unmissable. So I think that the Dapper Day Instagram will probably have some pictures of a lot of just fancy pants people. And it wasn't just them who dressed up. It was like, you know, it was a Dapper Day event, so there was just everybody hanging out in fancy clothes. The kids sort of got a little bit pooped. We got there pretty early, and we didn't make it to stay for the dance. But there was like there was a dance, and they had the museum is hosting some fancy gems in the gem room, and so we got to take a peek at those, which was neat. What else? This looks weird. I like this. Can I save this bit? Just hang on to that. Oh, well, what don't, yeah, this is just that. So if I'm gonna just assume that they have sort of like flexible hip sockets. They don't have like a model of this guy, and I don't have a real strong sense of how big it is. So I'm gonna just assume he's got like flexible hips and just let that tweak out this way because I like this leg. It was one of the other things that was super fun about going to the to the museum and seeing some skeletal models up close. They have like when you go into the museum, sort of the entry hall has a huge you know, it's life-size bone models of a T-Rex and a Triceratops doing battle, like in this sort of classic like oh no pose. And I got really excited about their feet. I don't really know why. Just every now and then, like a little piece of anatomy will kind of get me all fascinated. So I was looking. Yeah, that's better. So I was looking at the Triceratops feet and how they've got, you know, fingers and like they had like padded feet. They were very much like what you're looking at here with the Augustenophalus, like really splayed, kind of almost yeah, they're hands basically. And dinosaur cankles. No, let's not do that. I'm being too literal with this. There we go. And then, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. Anyway. Yeah, so they have, one of the things that I did was I was looking at them and I was reminded of elephant feet, and I wanted to sort of compare the, like, wrist bones of the Triceratops with the wrist bones of an elephant. And other than being, the sort of like carpal bones were a little bit shorter in the elephant, the anatomy is like almost identical, at least like to my eyes, to like my sort of like I feel like a tourist in science spaces, like as an artist. I sort of yeah, it's, my understanding is not super deep, but it's really enthusiastic. Like I describe myself as a fan of these spaces, and you know, I do my best to sort of interpret what I'm looking at by myself, but I also like I was described by my friend's mom as a museum person, like her husband and I were sort of like dragging at the end of the group because we kept reading all the placards, and so she was calling us like the museum people, like the people who like to like actually like get up in the exhibits and really kind of like take them in. And you know, so like, I mean, you know, they have all of this research and expertise available for us to kind of take in. I don't know why you wouldn't want to take advantage of this. I like this foot a lot less. It's because I'm trying to make it up, the motion. I'm looking at all of these. Oh, there's one. Okay. I've got like 2 reference pictures And they're not very big. He's got, they're, your basic, oh, I know what's going on. Okay. I know why this is looking weird and why this one isn't. And also what that second sort of bulge was all about. Knees up here. Calves. Heels. Like that. I need to fix this. Crap. It's, they're bird feet. It's bird feet, not horse feet, which is, I mean, they're close. So, okay, here's what I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to work out like, okay, so here's like a pelican, okay? Right, like that. Pelican's feet, knees, calves, ankles, pelican feet, like that. So knees, calves, and it's not quite like that. Hello. Okay, all right, stop it. Stop it, we're getting distracted. Okay, so, but what I'm looking at with Augustinophilus is knees, calves, ankle, foot, toe. Which is actually what's happening here. Ankle, foot, toe. Which is the same thing on horses. Like if you go horse. You like how these drawings are just getting worse and worse as I do it. So there's a horse. It's the same thing. Like I'm used to that shape. Like when you're little, that's how you do that shape. But what it is again, knees, calf, ankle, foot, toe. And then up here, it's like elbow, ulna, radius, wrist, toe. So like they actually have like carpal bones in there. They're real tiny. But anyway, okay, that's neither here nor there. That is not what we're doing right now. We are doing something else. We are trying to figure out how this shape. Okay, so I turned that, so that's... What happened? Why did I go black all of a sudden? That was weird. Okay. So. Thigh, knee, calf. Yeah, okay. I can, okay. So this, let's make that a little bit shorter. Push that up. That. And then this line will cross there. And then this whole thing is preserved. Thus, this goes this way and like that. Is that right? That looks right. Kind of. This is something I never see people do on like art live streams. Like, I don't know if it's just I'm sort of in a different place, like in my development as an artist or what, but I've never seen anybody like verbalize their process. I think we should. I think that's one of the reasons that art streams are kind of cool. I don't know. But anyway, that looks right to me, which means, okay, so then, what am I doing here? I've got this whole body turned. Here are the hips. This is wrong too, like that's the other thing that I kind of learned about like dinosaur hips. The other thing that, okay, like theropods have a keel bone. Like their pelvis is like this shape, and then they have like that is sort of like if we have, okay, like this is like a human pelvis. You know, this sort of classic butterfly shape. There's a ring here. And the hip socket's like kind of up in this area. I'm not gonna get too detailed with it. Comparatively, a dinosaur's hip bone, there's this bit, like that-ish. I feel like I should have taken more pictures while I was there. I didn't take, like, more pictures would have meant, like, any pictures. I was so kind of taken with the like people watching and just sort of being there and hanging out. It was just not that kind of trip. But I did see a lot of people with sketchbooks, which was fun. So there's this, but then there's also another structure in front that is connected, like, and I can't really do, but it's like a keel bone. At least it looks like a keel bone to me, like a bird-shaped sort of situation. So from the side, this is that, this bit is this bit, and this bit is obviously this bit, but then like there's a thing that kind of comes out front-wise that is, depending on like the actual like size and shape of the animal in question, it's longer or shorter. So like I saw some that were this, more or less like this, but like on a T-Rex, first of all, this was like really long, and this came way out here and kind of did this. So, and then like that, so that was like their whole, like here, like their ribs. So that's like their whole chest cavity, and then like I guess this whole sort of space is like where the back end is, and then like the tail comes out here. So anyway, that's not what we're doing, except that it is. It's totally what we're doing. I don't know if you guys are here for the comparative anatomy or if you're here for the good times. I am probably not going to get to color. If I get to inking by the end of this stream, I will be kind of impressed with myself, honestly. But that's because this is a new shape. This is not something that I am real... like I could draw an otter in an hour, and I could draw like the Watson that I did like 2 weeks ago, because it's a bird. It's just like a bird. This is not that. This is... the shapes are sort of denser, and it's just I'm just less familiar with what I'm doing here, and so it's taking me longer. So he's got a big fat neck. Yes. Like this way. His front feet are funny. Oh yeah. Okay, it's same shapes. It's the very much the same shapes that I was kind of marveling at on the Triceratops. There are... anatomically, there are things that like this animal has in. I don't think it's a theropod because of the feet. Because of the front feet. I don't know. I know very little about this animal. I will have to learn more about this animal. So the shoulders are up. here we go this way, that way, that way. And we're running. Now I have to think about running postures if this is this is what I do. I don't know if other people's processes are less visceral than this, but this is what I have to do to make my shapes right. This is the reaching arm. Yeah, okay, so we are this way, this way, this way, this way. Yeah, that looks right. Action pose. Okay. And then just to kind of give you an idea of what we're after. Oh, there's some contention about what color. Like there are some of these that are kind of stripy and he has like a black head, and then there are others that leave the head sort of less I'm gonna say decorated. It's kind of like this. This is, he's cute. This is where we're going with this. And I'll make some decisions about, it's not really knobby, it's sort of just more like a crest. He really does kind of, he has stuff in common with like ceratopsids. Like that. There. I've been missing Bob Ross. I've been watching Bob Ross on Twitch, which I really like. It's really fun watching with like a whole bunch of people, because everybody's just so funny. There's the ear right there. There's the eyes, kind of. Am I leaving enough room for? Yeah, right about like that. Something like that. So, yeah, this is actually kind of better. And maybe like, since he's running, something like that. I don't know. We'll deal with that later, but that's kind of where we're going. I want to work on this back foot and figure out how to make it go where I want it to go. Excuse me. Okay, part of my problem is these knees are too low. If he's, yeah, the knee's like kind of more right there, which makes this. Oh, calf, ankle. Yep. Good. Okay, this is not as, he's not hard charging quite that fast. So, like that. That. This, is this where we're going with it? Yep. Kind of. These are the guys where it's like splay point when they walk, so it's like blah 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 blah. Not like grabbing, I don't know. Oh. And I like that. There's a lot of motion in their toes. Is what, see, I'm like obsessed with feet right now. It's I don't know, it's just fun. It's just funny, like at a certain, every now and then, like I'll just get kind of like really fixated on a particular chunk of anatomy that I want to do better. You know what it was, is that like I go into the museum and I think about all of the work that I've done on that subject. And so that's just the first thing I sort of landed on. I'm like, well, what do I need to be improving? And I think about like, oh, all of the like kind of weak, it was eyeline. So like they're on this, like the statues are sort of on this like dais that's a little bit raised, elevated off the floor, like maybe by 2 feet or so. So the feet of the models are nearly eye level. So it was the first thing I saw, and as such was the first thing I identified as not doing super well. Yeah. And so it makes me kind of get like, okay, well, let me make sure I'm like paying close attention to these structures so that I can do them a little bit more with more accuracy next time. And then I get all hung up on feet. And that's how that happens. Other fun stuff. What else? I just worked out. So like Sunday happened. I've been doing this thing for a number of years called the Superb Owl Sunday, which, like, you know, I did not make that up, obviously. I know you've heard that joke a quadrillion times. But what I do for the last few years is because I just don't care about football. Other people are sort of occupied with the game. And I use that time to paint. So I've been, the last few years, painting an owl when everybody else is watching football, and then I auction off that owl. And if you have no preference, I'll donate half of the proceeds of the auction to a wildlife rescue that does owls in the city of the winning football team, or like the city of your choice. So like this year it would be Philadelphia or Boston or your city or my city or whatever. So that's a fun thing that I'm doing. So that is February 4th. I'm gonna live stream some of it because I can now, because I have this like fancy pants camera that I can move around and do top-down streams. Excuse me. And so that's coming. That'll be fun. Yeah. So that, and then like Valentine's are coming. I want to get those out by February 1st. So look for those in the shop. If you're on the mailing list, I will remind you. It's like an action shot. He's cute. I think he is cute. I think he's like, he looks like a little happy, like, duckbill guy. He's got kind of a beaky face. And a little crest. And I mean, I don't know. I was gonna be like, I guess that makes sense because Colorado's not that far away, but like, that's not how this works. That's like not, first of all, that's not how geology works, and that's not how paleontology works, but, and secondly, like, dig sites are not necessarily looking at the same sort of geological time period. I do not know anything about this guy. I will. If I put them on a shirt or post them up somewhere for sale. And then I'll have some fun facts on the sales page so that you can see. I hope I'm not as... Am I quiet? I don't want to check sound. I'm hoping that, like, you guys can hear me if you're interested in hearing what I have to say. I've been waking up with a sore throat. Basically, since I had the flu, I've been, like, waking up in the morning with a sore throat. And it's still... It's almost 11, but... This is coffee. This is oftentimes the most talking I do in the morning. So. Yeah, okay. I guess that's enough. I can go to ink on this. Let me get this dock out of the way. Make them a little bigger. Well, since I've been so obsessed with the feet lately, let's start with the feet. Got about about 20 minutes here before the end of this stream. I like these nibs. These are really natural feeling nibs. Thanks, Kyle T. Webster. Thanks, Adobe, for buying out Kyle Brush and making Kyle Webster an employee of Adobe so that we can take advantage of all of his wonderful brushes as part of Creative Cloud. That was awful nice of you. Art's so glamorous. I like these nibs because they seem to be really well suited to what I think is a really heavy hand. Like I don't feel like I have a whole lot of... I got a lot better at drawing on the computer when I got this tablet monitor. Obviously, like, of course I did. But I still think I sort of have a relatively heavy hand when it comes to using the stylus. The rendition that I'm looking at of this guy, he has a dew claw. It's cute. I keep saying that. I think this is a really cute dinosaur. I don't know. Kind of think they're all a little bit cute. The animals are cute. All animals are cute. Sharks, dogs, people. Animals are just cute. We're just... Life is cute. Even like bacteria and viruses. They're just cute. I might be biased. Like, I was looking at, I was watching SciShow this morning. If you haven't checked out SciShow, you should check out SciShow. It's super fun. It's youtube.com/SciShow. They really do not need me promoting them because I am much smaller than they are. Anyway, they did an episode about like why flu season is so terrible this year. It's basically like the strain of flu that is getting around it's particularly tricky to vaccinate against because it mutates really fast. And they didn't expect it to be as... Anyway, the flu virus is like a ball and it's fuzzy, and that's cute. It's cute. Everything's cute. Even the freaky flu. It's looking more like a paw. They kind of are they? They're a little bit more paw-ish than I don't know. I think maybe... Oh, I know why. Because they don't... I don't know if that's any better. Like, what it is they are... Also, I think I need to work on toenails. Is part of it, is I've kind of got this, like, very formulaic, like, upside down teardrop shape. And what am I actually looking at here is sort of more like a fingernail. it needs to be more like this. And that's a part of it. You get, there's a, you know, I mean, there's sort of like a muscle memory thing that happens. Let's do like that and just add some of this in. That'll help me feel better about these shapes. Because they're not really, I mean, like, they are pointy, like they're pointy in as much as like a dog. You know how, so my dog, like my dog grew up, like we lived on an unpaved road, and she used to get really long nails, and now that we live in the city and walk on sidewalks most of the time, like I don't have to trim her nails as often as I used to, just by kind of like being a dog in the world. She kind of gets them filed down. But yeah, so it's like these are not pointy sharp claws, they're like doggy claws that get sort of naturally filed by like existing in the world. And also like they don't split, like these toenails don't split. Like they do a little. Like, rather than being sort of split discrete fingers like ours are, there's basically webbing in, like, so it'd be more like more like that. Like, you know, more like that. This is, incidentally, I'm not doing this to be weird, this is part of the process. And one of the things that's really handy about wearing a drawing glove is that I can kind of look at how glove over hand behaves and try to translate that into this, which is basically what this is. This kind of area over here, it kind of looks more like that because the material, if you will, the skin over bone kind of bunches and curls up in ways. But how do I maintain that point that I like so much? Kind of like that. I like that a lot better. Like, look at how kind of improved over. This is one of the reasons, incidentally, that I sort of think that I'm not fast, is I get really fussy. But like, the thing is, though, one of the reasons that I'm live streaming, I have like ulterior motives for doing this other than like providing sort of an entertaining early to midday break for people. The dew claw can be pointy because it doesn't touch the ground as much. Is if I verbalize this process, it means that I'm actually like doing a lot of thinking and like public accountability for the work that I'm doing. So rather than kind of letting this, you know, this sort of bad convention that I've identified in the way that I'm drawing claws stand, like I can explain to you guys why I don't like it, fix it, and then it'll help me kind of continue to develop my skills. Well, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna... we've got about 10-ish minutes. I'll go over because I started a little late this morning. Yeah, crazy about this. So obviously, since I'm not done inking, I'm not really gonna get to color this week. I hope you'll forgive me. But keep an eye on my social feeds. You'll see the sort of end result of this guy. I will continue to work on him throughout the week and get him rocking and rolling. And I think I'll make Prince mugs t-shirts, I think. And so if you want to pick him up, you can. Your support is always tremendously appreciated. I will do things like, you know, I mean, if you enjoy this sort of thing, your patronage means I'll be able to do things like go back to the Natural History Museum with a sketchbook and continue to develop and be able to basically paint more dinosaurs for your enjoyment. Yeah, so that is... And if you want to actually, like, patronize me for real, for, like, you know, proper, you can go to patreon.com/sharptoothtsnail. I changed it recently. And contribute, whatever amount you like. If you over $3, you will be named as a patron of this stream, like my supporter Bonnie Vivant, which is an alias. Obviously. Man, that's looking more like what I'm seeing. Yeah, totally. And your support is always appreciated. You get backstage goodies and that sort of thing. Also, updates, a certain amount of hand wringing, although I do that here too, so I don't know if you feel like you need to pay extra for it. But basically, like, if you like art and culture being in the world, support artists whose work you like, and they will be able to make more of it, because then they can afford to spend the time to do it and spend the resources to get better at it and all of those wonderful things, which are wonderful. He's cute. Oh my god, he's so cute. I like it. He's just, oh, look. Look at that. And he's got like an ear socket right about there. One of these days I want to make like a big, like, Dustin Harbin, who I am a big fan of. He is a cartoonist and letterer whose work I really like. He lives in South Carolina. Did this poster called Behold the Dinosaurs. And in his, you know, in his own inimitable style, which is both realistic and also very distinctive, which I think is also kind of like a skill that I wish I had. I will get there someday, but I would like to make a poster like that at some point. It would be fun. I think, okay, so this whole thing has to sort of tilt down from where I have it in order to accommodate this jaw and some opening. So, like, right, okay, here's another comparative anatomy thing. Like, okay, here's a bird and here's a beak. Look, it's a puffin. The jaw is like right there. Right, so like what you don't want to do is you don't want to like do this. That is not what you want to do. Instead is make sure that the jaw hinge is open and this stays put. And usually the skin stretches like that, so you end up with an open mouth and a lower jaw. Same thing with horses. They work the same way. And so that's what I'm doing here. So that means like that. The other part of this is also like, I think he's a cutie pie and I want him to be smiling. So I have to kind of take that into consideration where yeah, it's close. And also he's beaky. I'm sure there's an actual like term for that, but like ceratopsids, they're beaky. They have beaks. One of the things, a question I have that someday I would like to get answered is when I say that a ceratopsid is beaky, bloop, little tongue, are triceratops beaks like bird beaks? Like, is it a different... Did they come to that shape the same... Like, did birds come to that shape because... I want to know if ceratopsids have anything to do with birds. Like, I don't know what the taxonomy is. Don't know if they're related. I know the feet are similar. Like these feet. But then again, elephant feet are similar, and they are so far away from each other evolutionarily. Like, they're not related. I mean, they are, like, in as much as like all vertebrates are related, but like, it's not. Yeah. I have questions that I need answered by people who are more knowledgeable about this sort of thing. This is why I consider myself a tourist, like a science tourist, is because I don't know. I don't know these things. I haven't researched these things. I need people to answer these questions for me. But if I can get people to answer these questions for me, I will bring that back and share it with all of the peeps. And I'll do it in a way that, like, is fun to look at. 'Cause art. Because art. Actually, I think I want that to be a little bit less. The phone is ringing. It's not for me. So I'm not gonna pick it up. So, anyway, this is the California State Dinosaur, Augustinophilus morrissey. I don't know anything about him. I will eventually learn some things about him. I'll finish this up and color it, and it will be available on stuff. And also you'll see it on social media everywhere. Thanks for hanging out today. I do this every week at 10 Pacific on Mondays. And you can watch it in replay on YouTube. Thanks again to Bonnie Vivant on Patreon for sponsoring this stream. If you would like to sponsor this stream, you can go to patreon.com/sharptoothsnail and join us. It's fun. Animals are cute and I love them. And hopefully next week I will be a little bit better of voice. join me on Super Bowl Sunday for the Superb Owl live stream paint stuff, and we'll auction that off after the fact and donate some money to save some owls. Valentines are coming, all of the good stuff. Have an excellent week, and I'll see you next time. And once again, I have failed to... I said goodbye, and I had to not stop the stream because I had to bring OBS back up. Alright, take care, gang. Bye.